to do some prep, let you watch that. Just view the technique. I'm not too sure how well I'm going to do on talking. It may just be more of a silent video. A lot of times, I don't know. Maybe I'll get better with talking the more I do. Maybe not. I'm not real sure what all to say while I'm doing this. Hey, look, I poked it here, I scraped it there. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. This is an Archimedes bryozoan, Mississippian aged, I believe. Found in Missouri. And I'm prepping it with a needle. I have a selection of needles I use. 7, I believe. A mix of sharpened sewing needles and hypodermic needles. I have 2 cone-shaped sharpened sewing needles, basically regular needle shape. You can see there. I have one that's 4-sided. You might be able to see kind of there. It's 4-sided. I got one that's wedge shaped, like a flathead screwdriver. And then I've got, hypodermic needles, like I said. I have 18 gauge, 22 gauge, and 32 gauge. 32 gauge is really, really delicate and sensitive. It doesn't get used loads because it just bends very easily in very delicate areas where I would do just real light brushings. It'll do the job, kind of like this right here, but it's not going to move lots. It's just a real soft needle, but good for small, delicate areas. Most of the time I'm using the cone-shaped, the wedge-shaped, or the 4-sided sewing needles, along with the 22 gauge hypodermic. Those are the 4 I use the most. Normally I would stick along the lines of the sharpened sewing needles because they tend to last a little longer. I do resharpen the hypodermics. Sorry, I got caught up in talking. Forgot to prep. Once you start getting a pile of dust, I break out a little vacuum. Just one that's used for like keyboards and that kind of thing. And then I get all the dust off. Or sometimes I use a little paintbrush and just wipe it out of the way. But then it gets small dust around. The vacuum at least keeps it out of the air. Better than you don't breathe it that way. But this is the Archimedes bryozoan fossil prep with a sewing needle. It takes a really long time, but as you can see, it's a real delicate fossil. All that still has to come out from underneath there, more off the top. It's got a long way to go. Plan is to try and get as much stone off this side here so that it will fan out like this on that side as well. This side, there's too much stone, and I've got a trilobite down here that I want to leave on there, so this will stay all as one fossil, one stone with fossils on it. I tend to move around a little bit on the fossil itself, work one area, stop for a minute, go to another area. A lot of times I like to listen to music while I'm doing this. I'm not right now because I don't need copyright, and I'm learning how to make videos like this. This is my first real attempt. The other one, I made one, posted it, just a real short verbal description of what I'm doing. But this one, I'm letting you actually see a little bit more prep. It takes a long time. Lots and lots of stone to remove with one little thing. Time to vacuum. What I'd really like to do is get some kind of a little vacuum hooked up to like a really tiny air hose that I could attach to my finger and then just run my finger down and suck it up. But that's something I'll have to work on. Like a glove vacuum. Not real sure what you'd call it. Something tiny though. That'd suck up all this little stuff and maybe a little quieter. Less bulky, and I could do it quicker. Sometimes I use scrapes, pokes, like this. Doing little pokes, break stuff off. Scrapes, scratches. Sometimes I really dig in. The one I removes the most would be the wedge shape. I'll use that in areas more out in here, over in there where I just want to take a lot off. Right now I'm using a small, the larger of my cone shaped ones. Like I said, I do have two. One's a little bit bigger than the other though. I'm using one that's a little bit bigger now just because I want to take off a little bit more stone matrix away from the fossil, but I still have a small tip. Look, I'm prepping this under 30 times zoom, so I'm not seeing it as you do are seeing it in a video. I'm seeing it much closer. I see a light bend in this tip. It's almost time to sharpen it again. I sharpen it using really small files, diamond files, like this one. I sharpen it under the same zoom that I prep so I can see more how small it's going to be when how narrow, thin, how fine a point I have, or I'm going to have when I go to prep with. Well, guess I'll post this now and see where it goes.